This takes me back to something that I saw recently and talks about abundance. And when there's a lot of abundance, like men get comfortable. And weak men make the world hard. Strong men make the world easy.
This is Barbell Conversations, a podcast that talks about strength and mindset and everything else in between. I am your host, Dwayne, our bearded Breadfruit on social media. And on today's episode, I'm joined by Thorn. We tackle subjects or topics such as redefining masculinity, the impact of social media on fitness and expectations, and realistic goal setting for men. We speak about him dancing and his relationship with his dad, low self-esteem, and how can strength training boost self-esteem in men. We hope to break the cycle and use fitness as a tool to build positive habits and healthy communities. And without further ado, let's get into it. This is my second episode with a guest.
Aye.
So like
Yeah, number 2, guys. You on the podium.
honored to have you, and honored for you to be here because I just want this to turn it or to blow up into something savory. And I want to like resonate on that word because I actually want it to be like sweet to the guys that I take in, and not from a perspective of like this can be some soft shit. More like this is something that is like good to listen to.
Yeah.
Fun, but edifying. If you know me, anybody know me really, is like somebody's always want to get to those very like hard and like top working questions, and for some it could be very annoying, but at the same time it's something that that I kind of live by a lot.
Yeah.
And it's also something that I challenge, or that will be a challenge as we dive deep into a lot of things. So it's like for people to come and see that and share the vision, like I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that being said, I see you doing your thing. For the culture and everything was blowing up, your music and everything blowing up, and I apologize, but you
good, dog.
yeah. But you know me, like I sit with a lot of things for a lot of time. It's just like
I could have.
And I should have.
Would have.
But it's like you got a lot of times. You got a lot of times that life is just like getting away.
Not 22 anymore, bro.
Not 32 anymore.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, tell me how that was going, man.
It's been great. It's been. Well, let's talk about footy culture first.
Yeah.
That is like a pre-launch for. You let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but they got a new gym coming to the island that's going to be pretty epic. All right. Want to know that anything that I'm part of is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's a representation of everything that I have learned and my experiences. Footy culture is more of a pre-launch for that, and as I told you before, it's something to kind of create a different type of fitness community. Something that I find is a little more united. Has more of a fun aspect to it. The goal for that is to, like, I want the average man in Barbados to be doing handstand push-ups. Or like the culture for that is guys go to Queen's Park and work out, people on the beach, you get people in mass. So similar to how you have like a big walking culture, I still feel like it's still quite segmented. So for the culture is to bring fitness together for the culture. So we had the walk, we had the hike. Next year we got the fitness fest, which is in either late January or early February. Still securing the dates for that. And I always try to bring things that are familiar to people. So yeah, we got the fitness and that kind of stuff aspect, but like fatting culture is a thing. You know what I mean?
But like, I like the footy culture movement, and this podcast, this idea, this Barbell Conversation is also something that I want to be available and accessible to community and society, but more so for the male culture in Barbados. And everything like you spoke about in terms of fitness, but at the same time understanding that there's more to this fitness than like meets the eye. That we may present on social media, right? So that's something I definitely want to delve into and give people like a different insight on. But at the same time understand that it's okay to have community, and we actually need community, right?
Correct.
So that's it. Floor is yours. Giving people a little history. How you come about, like where you start, like
man, I always have to give credit to dance For sure. I've always been training. Started out doing track. Got into secondary school. Absolutely hated my secondary school life.
Where was secondary school?
Lastavon. No real reason beyond thinking of with who I am now. When looking back, I didn't know who it was or who I wanted to be, which I guess is normal for any 11, 12, 13-year-old. But I
don't think 11, 12, 13-year-olds have like all those philosophical who am I?
See that? So yeah. I've learned about myself very recently that I am extremely passionate, and that's passionate across all spectrums of my life.
Right.
So back then I didn't know what that was. So I know that I want to be something, and that feeling of passion flows into it, and I feel very strongly about it. And when I think about something or when I feel something, it becomes very tangible. So if I tell myself like, okay, I want to, I don't know, create a spaceship, like I will see that, I will visualize that, I'll be able to taste it, I'll be able to smell it, like I'll be able to touch it. That's how tangible those things become to me. So back then I got that feeling, I got that passion. I don't know what it is, so I just got all these feelings. I really didn't like my school life at all until I got to like 5th form,
right?
Maybe 4th or 5th form. Made a track team then. Shout out to Ankoma. He's a little freak though, but you know. Nah, he cool. Just kidding. He just used to heckle me all the time about making a track team.
Right.
So this is one time I'm not even gonna like cap. Like he was a big time heckler. So I kept trying over like year 1, year 2, and I was not making, just missing the mark. And this one time bro comes up with the with the last one track team clothing, dog, and goes, "Thorn, you know what this smell like, dog? This smell like the track team. You got one of these? You got one?" Man trolling me, dog, to the ground. And honestly, I am at the same time, I'm thankful for that. I think that fueled me into the next year. Like, yo, like I cannot let this man do this to me till I left school, right? So yeah, made the track team. That's when things started to improve. Around that time when I was running track, I saw ADL, right? The ADL adrenaline back then. It was like 2005, 2007.
So you weren't dancing in school?
I wasn't dancing in school like that, nah, dog. Because I was inspired by dance. I always found it interesting, especially break dance. Everybody had you got served days if you was a 90s kid, right?
Sure.
But I remember the first time seeing those guys practice at Lastavon, and this is just before I was preparing for my pageant. And this man was doing the things I saw up on You Got Served. At the time, I thought this stuff is fake, bro. Like this man, I was like, these men on strings. Back then, everything was on strings. Man, they had slides and thing. But then I witnessing this stuff live, and at that time, I entered the pageant because, and it's so funny that I can articulate what it is, because back then I don't think I knew why I really entered the pageant, but I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to be a different Thorn. I wanted to be something different. I got tired feeling like the background character. I got tired feeling like, you know, like I hated myself. Like I hated myself for a long time, bro. Like people to see the confidence I exude and that kind of stuff, but like I did not like myself, right?
So the pageant was all dance?
The pageant was all dance. All dance. I'll probably still put YouTube or something back then. Shout out to Kerry. Shout out all the men from ADL. Shout out to Corey.
So like what type of dance was it in the pageant? Was it break dance?
So we did back then mixing was like a big thing. So we did like a full on, it was like a Michael Jackson inspired piece. So we did hip hop, some Michael. Because I feel like you could still pull that up on YouTube, dog. So I did one of the cleanest mohawks I have ever seen in my life in this video. Shit. I have not been able to revisit that style since then.
Did you win?
Nah, bro. I didn't. I didn't.
You know what I smell like?
I did not. And I remember people saying like, you know, my performance was amazing. I should have won. And I feel like that, in addition to a lot of other factors that happened in my life that I didn't know were like, in terms of like things my mother was saying to me when I was a kid, were like laying the foundation to be who I am today, and the confidence that I have today. Because I like stage. I enjoy stage. That's where I recharge. Like, it's electrifying. I like to see the response they have on people when they're dancing. I like to be in a space that when they start dancing, people start dancing. I just genuinely like to make people feel good.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing that via having conversation or dancing or singing or whatever, like
any medium you play.
Yeah, that's another thing I realize about myself. Like, I recharge by making people feel good.
Yeah.
Right. Did that. Left school till 2008. Still struggling with trap because they hard again. Passionate. I thought I was gonna be the fastest man in the world. That was the goal. That was like, we doing this.
Just doing this to the end.
Yeah. And trap ended not because of a lack of trying, but because of circumstance. Things got hard at home. So then I could not, the time that I was finishing work, I could not make it to training. And that's another entire topic that we could talk about in terms of athletes not being able to train to the best of their capabilities because they got a family, they got to go work and etc.
Yeah.
And I ended up fizzling out. So then I really, really leaned into dance back then. People don't know this, but Barbados had a huge street dance culture. If you don't know around, like, it was crazy. I remember when I have finally joined ADL and I got people signing, like, want me to sign in books and shirts and things like that. Was mad.
Bro, like, I don't think y'all really understood the impact that ADL and that other street stuff like really had on Bajan culture.
Yeah.
Because I say this, and people that hear this is the only time they can get to actually hear this, because I've never said it in this space. But if you probably go like, and maybe Facebook or something, like, there was a time where I felt I could dance. So like, I was a good part of this, a good part of where I am today. And it would be remiss if I said it hasn't been a part of life for a good part of time. But I don't want this to turn into, and I said in podcast before, I don't want this to turn into like a Christian type, thing. We all free thinkers. We could come here, we can have discussion, and if somebody doesn't agree with that, that's fine. And we can always like handle it in a very civil way, right? Like, you agree with something, you disagree with something, but we can always meet in the middle and try to see how we could,
Yeah.
I say all that to say this. I have like a good foundation of the stuff that I have known from church, right? And there was a part of me that was very involved in, I don't want to say the arts, because I wasn't really always into like everything artsy at church, but I did find myself in like some drama skits and stuff from time to time. I was heavily involved in music, and I did do a little break dance. So they're like, you realize that there's a part of the culture, especially black culture and stuff, even if it is from some level of like subjugation or whatever, you find that you kind of feed off of pain as a black person. And I find that, like, I don't know if you agree with the term like art imitates life and stuff like that.
100%.
But you start seeing and you start feeling how people would be when they're dancing, and then you want to like translate that to, other parts, other aspects of your life. And for some reason, like, rap and everything and hip hop and Christian hip hop became something that was very like, it was starting to become accepted. And I really said, like, there's a part of this song that has like a little feeling, and we want to add, like, like just like a
little razzle dazzle.
But I do want to say, right, like, just like, let me just take a pen. In primary school, I did do a form of Latin dance.
It's all in the hips.
You know what I mean?
It's all in the hips.
But to ask me to dance right now is like a nah. Like, put some alcohol in me and I probably like do a little walk up. But I really like
that's important. That's not like, we're circling back to what we said before. I think even when we said about community, there was a time where on Facebook people, because obviously the acronym was ADL, right? So we used to call this ADL. So you would put, if you're a part of the group, you put Thorn ADL, whether you put Clay ADL, or whatever, right? There was a time where people liked our group so much, our group was so popular, people were putting ADL
in their names
on Facebook. And I'm talking about like hundreds of people. Like, and that's the beauty about dance. Like, it's so, I kind of want to say whimsical in a way, but like, it's like, it's just so free.
No, because you would have been a part of the what is it? It's usually around. It's not. Is it around Independence Day? It's like a. It was what was it? But it definitely was like a dance show.
Dance fest.
And
it was independence before dance fest. Yeah, independence was.
So like, I ain't gonna tell you like how like it was just like one go there just to see like men break dancing and dancing. Like it was just like something.
Gymnasium crack. Hundreds of people screaming.
And I mean, like, I don't recall something at the gymnasium apart from like any other like.
But the show having that kind of effect, though. I mean, it was like, electrifying.
I mean, I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
But when independence and when festival stuff come around,
you're right.
Like, yeah, I had to be like easing my way through crowds.
It was crazy.
And I mean, like, dance was just doing something to people, right? Like, men too, in general. Because you see, like, these huge, like, male-dominated dance groups, like, just taking the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there were, like, the female artists and, like, people that would have been, like, a mixture of both.
Contemporary.
But then when you see the guys come out and do, like, it was something different.
Like,
I mean, like, chills. And right now talking about it's like chills. That's crazy. How it felt, right?
It's crazy.
And it's like, I don't want to say that it lost its edge or something, but I just find that it's not as captivating to the male audience anymore. In my eyes, I don't know. Like, you are a dancer, so you could probably like speak on that a little bit more.
It did not transition well. And I think the last dance fest we had, shortly after that, there was COVID,
right.
And it was something that was already kind of losing its life. You know what I mean? And I find a lot of the things that we miss here are like transitioning things into something else so that it becomes more interesting. So dance is still very much alive.
Right.
Like, I could tell you a bunch of kids who are like doing these TikTok dances and etc. But sometimes, especially here in Barbados, when we're doing like community projects, we we kind of get stuck in how the wheel is and how it works rather than maybe we need to progress it. Maybe we change a tire. Maybe we use new rims.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but maybe now you need to add something that keeps it more interesting.
Yeah.
And what we tend to forget is that we competing with these, no, bro. But then dance fest, you had like BBM and that kind of stuff, and things weren't as advanced as they are now. Where like you could see you got dopamine from this just from scrolling. You scroll miles on your phone. So now, and that even goes back to school. Like, you gotta remember that we're competing with a world that has so much. We are surrounded by abundance, dog.
Yeah.
Like, there's almost too much happening. So then now the things are of old that we need to use to like create community, because sometimes these don't really create communities, got people sucked in, but the things that they dance fest and etc., it needed to transition into something else that's still like more tangible to the younger crowd and that kind of stuff, because you want those guys to get older to participate, and then it goes on and it goes on and it goes on.
So I love that, right? And I mean, like, I guess as this progresses, we could get more into like other aspects that I think are really important. But I find, especially like you encapsulate this thing so well when you call yourself like the fittest entertainer. You know what I mean? I love that handle because it's like so many. It's so intricate to like everything that you do. Right? It's like he's a singer. He's this calisthenics guy. He's gymnastics. Like, you could go on forever. But he thinks that you yourself position yourself into because you just want to be like so good at these things, and you are pretty good at these things.
Thanks,
right?
Bro. Yeah.
So then my question to you is like, as a fitness influencer, right? That's what you are, right? And you inspire so many with your content. But how do you think consistent physical activity, because you are into fitness and then you are like this dancer and all that, like the only thing that I could find that does not entails or encapsulates like physical activity that you do, like singing, but even in that you still need a level of fitness and everything 100%. For that. So how does that consistent activity like impact a man's sense of like purpose or identity in the world? We already spoke about how it drifted off and the wheels could be reinvented, and you yourself mentioned how you really didn't like yourself back in school. So all that being what it is, like, how does that then help your purpose?
I think
or any man's purpose for us.
So again, this takes me back to something that I saw recently and talks about abundance. And when there's a lot of abundance, like men get comfortable. And weak men make the world hard. Strong men make the world easy. I said to say that when there is something about training and not just training, but training hard, that kind of hardwires you to face certain types of adversity. Right? So even in the smallest way, so when you're thinking about when you're training and you got one more set to go and now weigh heavy and you feel like you're going to dead and you got one more rep to go and you push past that, like you hardwire your mind to push past adversity when the weight get too heavy. So we think about the weight, we talk about emotional weight, things happen at home, things happen in your wife, things happen in your relationship. Like those are weights. So you gonna fall under this weight or you gonna get on your squatty fucking weight and get up, brother? You know what I mean? So like,
I don't think people really fully understand like the extent. Well, I think I calm down a lot based on what I would do, but like sometimes when I get to the bar, to that physical bar, squat or deadlift, I think and most people that know me know that I would die at that bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would, like, this would be it. Like 100%. It's coming up, it's moving, or it's not.
Not. And I think that's had a huge, first of all, let me say, my mindset, and this is gonna sound funny, my mindset is heavily influenced by anime as a little man. A lot of the time, bigger than my mom, bigger than my dad, love them to death. Absolutely, they did the best that they could in terms of raising me, but there's something about having kids while you're still trying to discover your hustle that makes it hard. So it's not always going to translate into you having that like parenting time. So a lot of times like you got school clothes, you got food, you do your homework, but by that time they're so tired living their life that they ain't no real time to bond. So certain things I would have been able to learn from my father I could not, because he's still out there providing for us. You understand? So he can't be there physically.
Right.
I mean, he is there, but like in the capacity that, you know, when people say it takes a village, and when there's a very big difference between a parent who can be there consistently with their child and not having to focus on their hustle and the qualms of life and where I can pay this next bill and etc. There's a very clear difference to how that child is raised versus somebody who got to deal with everything that they got going on and weren't particularly right to have that child. But that's a different conversation. But
not quite.
What is that to say? Right. So say that in terms of like the anime aspect, I'm a huge Rags to Riches story anime fan.
Always. I love the underdog story.
I love the underdog story, dog. Because there's so, like, I related to that when I was young, because like for them it's tangible. Like if you watch people like Black Clover, Asta, like he's born in a society that's heavily based on magic, and your man ain't got no magic, big man.
Yeah,
none, zero magic. But that guy gets up and trains every single day.
Yeah,
that man don't miss a day, bro. So like even back then to the same thing with like Naruto and some of these other characters, Ichigo from Bleach, like these guys, they work very, very, very hard. And there's like when you watching that as a little man, you connect with that. You like Goku and that man. Like these men don't give up, bro.
Nah. Yeah.
These men never. Goku's a man that was dead and come back.
You understand?
You understand? Like your man has passed the ultimate threshold. Like they ain't supposed to come back. My man's like, oh, when I thought that death could have stopped me.
Yeah.
I back, bro. Yeah. Bring out them Dragon Balls. Come.
You could just say the Christians murmuring like, you know what, Jesus did that too.
Fair. But like that's not.
But not to get controversial. But you did mention that a lot and your family, right?
Yeah.
No, there's this article that I've been reading, and a few articles too that like stick with me and like would be the premise for this whole entire podcast. Like that, along with my own experiences when it comes to like relationships with my dad and stuff like that, is something I want to build. What stick heavy is the reason for a lot of the things that we see now, right? Violence, you name it, tend to stem from single parent households. This is not to say or to point at women or single mothers right now and say that,
Or
you know,
single
like,
fathers.
you aren't doing your job or this and that thing. But it just seems more of a possibility that coming from a single parent household, being in a broken, or so to call it, home, right? You tend to see like these
imbalances.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, is the same as fitness? If you train one side too long, what has happened?
Exactly.
Imbalances.
So that being said, like, how is your relationship with your dad?
Fantastic, man. It wasn't always the best. For a long time, we could not see eye to eye with things that I wanted in life. There are a lot of things that I know and I understand out of what he was really trying to say back then.
Right.
Nah, I guess weren't particularly translated in a way that I understood, because we still used to butt heads a lot. We're very, very similar.
Yeah.
But my relationship with my dad is absolutely fantastic now, bro.
Has that ever crossed when it comes to the things that you want to pursue in life that people may not necessarily deem as masculine, like dancing or singing?
Oh, nah, my dad was a dancer, bro.
He was?
My father was a dancer.
What kind of dance?
My father used to funk, dog.
Oh, shit.
Oh, big man. You know what I mean? And that's the funny thing was, my father never teach me a lick of dance. It was cooking, right?
Your dad taught you to cook?
Yeah. How people thought, well, yeah, I could dance. Every time we went to stool, I could have cooked. Anytime I could have see over the stove. Like, that was just a thing. And I find that so funny that a lot of the things that he has done, I have done as well, in terms of like dance and cooking, without him actually giving like verbatim input, like you should try dancing, etc. But my father's always had like some measure of influence on my life. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he was there, always there, but still not there, because he go out there and get the bag.
Yeah.
Right? I do agree with you where you say like it has a definitely effect on male community and these things that they could, that you could like the thing about dance, bro, is that like the connectivity that it brings, like the unity that it brings. Even going back to the dance festival, we're talking about the fellas that was participating. A lot of these men was ghetto youths. A lot of these men was ghetto youths. Dancing used to keep the men off of the street. So these men in Let Me Put the Block, these men in Israel Level Foundation rehearsing, or the men in the park rehearsing, the men at NCF rehearsing. So all the time that they would have spent being idle and doing unscrupulous things,
right?
You know, being productive, and you're putting like, they're saying about block culture, like always, like a block culture in terms of like men, they can be very, very diehard, like big goal getters, and I always just say, and they're ambitious because they want things, they want cars, they want high life. So then there's a willingness to do anything it takes
whatever
to get
takes,
that,
right.
Whatever it takes. Now, if you take that man, you educate him, and you give him the tools to make that money that he want to make, but not illegally but legally, that man is unstoppable, bro, because he got the black man mentality. Anything it takes to get it done.
So here's the thing, like, a lot of these guys may not have fathers, so to speak, and a lot of them who also have fathers may also be a part of that culture, right? Hence reason for that. I mentioned this in the podcast that I did with Simon, how there's a level of community, there's a level of unity too, that I found being there. I don't pride myself as a block guy, and I would never pride myself as being like very embedded in this block culture, right? But there have been times before that when I spent a few times on the block, and I definitely would say that I would rather spend my time there than sometimes around church folk or other persons.
Yeah.
For the sake of, like, as I said, there's a community there, and then there's this feeling of
belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that
feel ostracized
is missing, especially when people decide to assume the role of a father figure or whatever. It's always one with it's always one, I want to choose my words carefully, but it's always one with like a sense of criticism, like, you shouldn't be this way or you shouldn't be that way, because you know what I mean, like, this is how it means to be a man. And ironically, that's kind of how it is on the block too.
Yeah.
Bringing that into perspective, right? Through social media, is there a way, or have you found that there's a way to like redefine that term masculinity
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely is. I have come across quite a few people who have been inspired to do calisthenics and inspired to train, and they will always come to me and be like, I want to get abs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that is that's the start. But I think the problem is that most people or most men don't know what it is to be a man. I think we gotta start there in terms of like, how do you define what it is to be a man at the baseline, very, very baseline? What do you do? How do you operate? You know what I mean? Are you like stoic? Do you see problems? Are you a problem solver? Like, you got, and that can be very different for different men. That's the truth. And it kind of depends on like what your environment is. But like at the same time, there gotta be a baseline. So for me, the kind of man that I strive to be, or the kind of man I exude, is one is very flexible, one is very, like in terms of mindset, one is very confident, strong, fast, agile, who has, very good physical prowess. Yeah. One who is also intelligent, business savvy, like who operates like business comes to me like, I get ideas every day. I get too many ideas every day. Shout out to Jelani. Jelani will tell me that I got too much ideas. But like, those are the things that stand out to me. And I feel like sometimes you'll have a baseline, but you're going to have to look at yourself and look deep into yourself, do some self-reflection and introspection, and decide what kind of man. Introspection.
Some words, no.
They're trying to rap. You got to look within and see who it is that you want to be, and what will make that clear is knowing who you are and knowing who you want to be. And I say that to a lot of fellows all the time, and I will make a lot of your decisions very, 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 very easy. I won't make the process easier, but you will kind of be able to roadmap where it is that you want to be. So if you want to be CEO, professional athlete, and you look at who you are now, and you want to be a professional athlete 10 years down the line, or am I doing the things now that reflect me, who I want to be? So then you can see the things that you need to cut away and strip away, and the things that you need to get. Right. It's like building on this piece, and you continue to work on that, because that version of you exists. Right. Like he living that life, bro. Like he out there. Like he. If like we say he's a world record holder, if he's a Olympic weightlifter, if he's a, I don't know, big CEO of some company, that exists. Like it's tangible. And I goes back to the same thing that I said to you before, where I remember when I wanted to have my own fitness line, I wanted to have that stuff, and I was talking about it, but it was tangible. I could taste it. 5 years later, you know what I mean? So like, if you make it tangible, and you add passion to it, and you know who that person is that you want to be, then you now have a clear idea of the kind of man that you want to be.
So I highlighted these things that came to me when I was thinking of like, what is it or what does it mean to be like a man, right? And it often falls under the bracket or the umbrella of self-help, right? So for me, a self-help would look like skincare, financial literacy, like expanding your knowledge, increasing your knowledge base, maybe like improving physical fitness, nutrition, regulating emotions, spirituality, even if it's not necessarily tied to religion, just being grounded in something, learning how to maintain and sustain healthy relationships, having effective communications. I feel like all of that, and just like overall health, right? Like that just encapsulates not necessarily what it is to just be a person, but I find that men in general struggle with like different aspects of these, and then like it breaks down. That being said, is there like a version of like self-help that you think is like something like astute, like this is what a man should aspire to be in these, anything that I listed there just now? Like, should men take care of the skin, for example? Or should men like
100%.
I find, right, you would talk to like the average guy, and like I remember mentioning something in terms of like lotion or something, guy, and like only women is like cream the skin or stuff like that. It's like, it's weird to have this conversation, whereas like something as simple as something as simple as taking care of the skin, not even just the body, right? Something
We
as
can talk with the
taking
body,
into your
I want to
skin.
address that niggas don't do, and I be like, bro, what it like?
Like, what's that?
Wait, when a man don't wait, when I go to the bathroom, bro?
Yeah, what?
After peeing?
How you know this? You just
That's a
follow
very
the-
no, bro. I've been hearing women telling me about this, that like, you know, men be having a conversation and they be like talking about getting to the bathroom and like,
Yeah.
you know, peeing thing, like, yeah, you was washing your hands, like, and he goes, like, so you was wait? I was like, what do you mean wait? Like, you don't need to wait. I just shake it. I was like, what? Bro? Do you understand? So it's just like little meticulous things like that.
Yeah.
When you start to enact those things, you start like really checking yourself and you start like zoning in and focusing, and there's certain things that you gonna do. Like if you watch the men who are very, very successful in the world, there's just certain things that they do, that they carry themselves, they move different, they look different.
Yeah.
And then that's presented in their character.
I mean, and it's not to say that in every aspect of this self-help umbrella that you get everything particularly right.
You can't possibly can't.
But here's the thing, right? And this might be weird to some people, but something as simple as not using the bathroom, for example, or having to do something outside, right? For me, it's like unhygienic. Like I don't want to like step behind like a bush or whatever and do stuff like that.
Deal off the truth.
But I feel like it's stuff like that, right? Like it just leads you to be, as you would call it before, like a better human being, and then like you can start building that path to like
to who you
that
want
person you want to be.
Because it's not all the same. That's why I say it's kind of hard. I guess as people want to say that there's certain things that men don't do,
right?
And I guess there are certain baselines. For me personally, there's certain baselines, but I've discovered who I want to be as a man.
See, before we started talking, you mentioned this phrase that I wrote down because I figured that it's pertinent to this. It's the entire conversation, right? You mentioned being confident in your movement. That's not just confident in moving in dance, right? But it's confident in the way you move through life.
Life.
That's exactly how you get it, right?
You gotta walk through life like you own it. Who it belong to?
But at the same time, like, you understand that owning it means taking care of all these things and addressing these things too.
100%. Big gaming fan.
Right.
And this is another reference that I saw on somebody, and it was on social media. They were saying like, the life that we were living now is an RPG, role-playing game. If you don't know what that is, you get a character, you build them, you get different skills, and you have something that's called a character build, right? Your life is that avatar, like physically, and the skills that we acquire, whether it be education, physical attribute, you're building this skill tree. You're creating a build. By the time you get to a certain level,
right,
then you can reap the rewards from grinding earlier. Getting and acquiring all these skills. You understand? So you start at level 1. You know what I mean? You don't got much. You don't got no law gear nor none. Yeah. But then you start grinding. You start dealing with some mobs. Mobs are like the things that you would kill to get experience in a game, right? You get some experience. You move on to levels. Get some more experience. Move on to level. Get more skills. Move on to level. But you have to be selective about the build that you want. Do I want to be a powerful magician? Do I want to be a powerful swordsman? Do I want to be an assassin? So having a clear idea of the direction that you want to go, even from a gaming perspective, helps the build. So that takes me back to what I said earlier about knowing who it is that you want to be.
If we
and
tell
it goes down to like women too, big man. Sorry for crossing you.
No, that's fine.
Because when I find that men will make it hard, or men will try to attack. All right, I don't use the word attack, but men will try to approach a woman without an adequate game plan. Now,
he had a set game for the man.
He has an adequate game plan, and like a woman will show you what she's interested in.
Right.
You as a man, now you gotta look and say, okay, well, she like, I don't know, Birkins and fast cars and blah 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 blah.
I'm not here to promote you buying Birkins.
Hold on.
Right.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with a woman who wants expensive stuff.
Right.
At all. I don't think women who like really nice things are gold diggers either. They're just like really nice things. However, if you like really nice things and you're trying to go after them with malicious intent, that's a problem. Then you're a gold digger. But if you like expensive, like if you want like a $40,000 bag, cool, okay. That's what you like. But my issue is, come here, you can see a woman, and this is what really makes it simple. You can come and see a woman, she like 40,000 Birkin bags. You got a $5,000 budget.
Right.
You're trying to get with this female because she's good looking, but that's not within your tax bracket, bro. So I don't want two things gonna happen. Left it out or get your money up. But don't judge your woman for liking $40,000 bag. She like what she like. So I say that to say that in terms of seeing the build, seeing what she like, you understand? Then you gotta ask yourself, well, can I build myself? Can I create the character that she's attracted to? And first of all, do I even want to be that person?
Right.
And is it financially sustainable for me to be that person?
Yeah.
Because then you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah.
But I just disagree in. I mean, as you said, a woman can like what she like. I fully agree with that. But the moment that you realize that, how do I want to put this? If you realize that where you are in life isn't where that woman is at based on the things that she likes, right? The way you chart your course, and again, this is never to like give advice, man, can just do what you want, but this is how I see it personally. If you want to chart your course to get where you are, and it's predicated on what that woman wants, and you just decide to earn enough to buy, so to speak, that love, and this may not be what you're saying, but this is just the young men if they listen, that's not the woman for you, right? Get your game up, yes. Get your financial game up, yes. Be financial literate, expand your knowledge and all that. But I feel like the focus should be on yourself first, and then you attract now what you start to put up, right? So if it's that you are focusing on yourself inwardly and that introspection and stuff that we spoke about in the beginning, and if that is where your mind is, then who is for you will show up for you, and that Birkin bag may be all.
I agree. I'm just talking from the layman terms of like just casual dating.
Got you.
And in terms of like the mistake that some men make. So you meet a woman and she likes expensive things, and you get upset because she likes expensive things.
Yeah.
You got one or two options, bro.
Right. So like I agree with that, but I also want that if whoever.
Yes, I'm not saying by any means to base your entire life on that.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm saying like use your discernment.
You will go broke.
You will go broke, bro. Like use your discernment and say, perhaps not this one.
So speaking on that, right? Speaking on the game element, right? Let me tie in this now to something like realistic. So social media, for example, is where you are very good at that. I have not.
Jokes.
But let me say, like,
this man got a whole boot camp coming over here.
But let me just
Redefining Fitness, look out for it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Remember by the time this launch, boot camp will probably die. But thanks for that. But like the impact of social media on fitness and expectations for like realistic goals, right? Like a lot of people look at it and I'm like, oh, I want that, I want this, and whatever. But I think, and that starts to like turn people away because they realize maybe it may not be as attainable as they thought it would be, right? So then it starts to do a lot of things to like the psyche, like low self-esteem and stuff. You mentioned not liking yourself. I, for one, had like the worst self-esteem when it came to this fitness thing, right? How is it that we can target men and how they feel affected by what they might see on social media when it comes to like either like mentally, physically, what may not be attainable or what is attainable based on what we put out there? Because I think for some people, they don't see that we grind to get what this is right now based on how
they don't know the story,
right?
Yeah.
And we not even, well, I can speak for me personally, I'm not even at a level I want to be at yet. But some people might look at me and be like, well, like,
you did.
Yeah.
You're doing it, dog.
So it's like there's this expectation versus reality thing that they see when it comes to like stuff like that. Like a lot of people come to me, especially wanting my help, and be like, I want to look like you, or I want to look like this. And I was like, dog, that's not how we do it.
That's not how we do it.
Like,
I don't have a clear answer for that, bro. Because even when I cannot imagine me not liking myself the way I did when I was in school, with social media being what it is now. That level of accessibility,
because we never had it, you know.
So you see people that you want to be like, and it's on TV, but it's not in your face 24/7.
Yeah.
So you got men out there or people out there that don't like themselves, and then you just getting that dopamine effect on your phone, or you scroll.
Are we then part of the problem? Like, how do we help them like build that confidence?
You asking me that? You doing that right now, dog? This
That's what I'm asking.
This is what we're doing. We're doing it right. Like, this is the answer. You know what I mean? You figure out before me. You who called me.
Stated on the record that Barbell Conversations is the answer.
You who called me. I thought you had all the answers, Sway. But for real, it comes down to like content curation, and that's why I've kind of eased off on posting for a little while. I've really been thinking about the type of content I want to do. So I bought a mic to do like content where I'm talking, and I want to talk about fitness, talk about approaching. I want to talk about how to approach, how men could approach women on the dance floor, to be a little more successful. And like, I see some men out there getting swerved really real cruel, and like, that does something to your confidence. Well, if you care about it. Me personally, getting swerved is part of the fun. Like, are you gonna get swerved? I can not get swerved.
Right?
Is it gonna be embarrassing? Is it not? Like, it'll be funny to me. You know what I mean? And I think I think the type of content that we decide to put out is what's gonna really gonna help to really make the difference in terms of men and their perception of self. So we just gotta curate it a little more. But like, you doing the thing though. Like, we here doing it right now. Like, we talking about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's true. So then you would say that this and all that has strength training, or has all this calisthenics and all that stuff, has that boosted your self-esteem?
100,000 bazillion percent, dog. Like, I gotta get out of that Beijing code. What to say, gazillion? But like, for 100%, 100, dog.
You don't find yourself hating yourself anymore?
Nah, I will be disappointed in some of the things that I do. Nah, for me now,
like any regrets?
Like, we always got regrets. I mean, there's things I always wish I could have done differently. That goes from personally to people I would have hurt.
Yeah,
you can't live in the past. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that you're not sorry for the things that you would have done, or you're not remorseful. But I am not that person anymore. And I refuse to let anybody make me feel like I am that person anymore. Like, I've grown, and I will continue to grow. I probably will not be. I mean, if we look back at this podcast 5 years from now, I probably not. Not probably. I would definitely will not be the same person.
I hope not,
because I constantly trying to grow and improve, and like, don't say I hope not. That hurt my feelings a little bit. Kidding.
But here's the thing, right? Because
the growth. Yeah.
Because for me, right, self-esteem, my self-esteem and stuff, and I want to bring it to close soon. My self-esteem took a hit as well, because I got so ingrained and embedded into fitness as a tool to better myself. I was focused on that. Still not focused on bettering myself mentally. I hope you see where this is going.
There, bro.
So like, is this adverse effect where I go towards it, right? I run towards it heads on. Like, this is the avenue for me. Like, this is supposed to be the shake all my shackles, my self-esteem, my anxiety, the depression, everything goes, and I'm a better person. But because I've been so head on into it for like a long time, it started to take a hit. And then overtraining and the overstimulants and stuff like that comes with it. I mean, people don't see that, right? So for a lot of times, and recently I started like posting a lot more things that would have been more vulnerable on social media, as opposed to just posting like me lifting and stuff, because like it started to like bring back all these old feelings, right?
I feel like it went through that as well.
I know it boosts the self-worth and the self-image and stuff like that, but what I think that people don't understand is that too much of something, you know what I mean? Too much of anything can also be detrimental to your health, your physical health, and to the mental health. And I feel like because of that, we really need spaces like these. We really need spaces where people can like understand that, like, were you trying to attain the breakneck speed, so to speak, that you going at this thing with, right? Sometimes it just, I recently had a client, for example, and he was saying, like, he was at this point before, and he won't get back here. And he was just, I was like, bro, like, let me tell you, like, the way it's got a real way of humbling you real fast. So sometimes it just got like slow along, and like just step back. And it had to take me like years, bro. And like, people can look at me now, but like, it took me years. It still take me a while now, right? To understand that it's not the end all be all, even though it is a tool to help. You know what I mean?
So even when you're talking about now in terms of, not jog my memory about something I thought about recently, we will train our bodies a lot, but I think that we forget to train our minds. And I think within like the last year and a half or so is when I've been doing a little more reading. I would encourage any man to, check out Stoicism a bit.
Edify yourself.
And that when I started really working the brain muscles outside of just traditional education and reading up more about fitness, etc., about really getting into like the nitty gritty of there's a really big top book that people should read, which is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Thank you to Jasmine for that one. You really start to build up your mind, and you really start to add some intensity, some progression, and you really start to work, and then things really change. But I think the same thing you were talking about, where you kind of went through that period where it had like an adverse effect. There was a period of time where like I felt like I almost hated training. I feel like I vaguely remember that feeling like that, like it's not doing the same thing for me as it did before, and it wasn't that my body wasn't right, it's that my mind wasn't right. It wasn't in the right place. I wasn't receiving. And my perception of self was bad. So then I went to a period where I was like doing like serious escapism. So acting like super out of character, dog, going to places and doing things I'm not right doing, right? But you're looking for that escape. You're looking for things to make you feel good. And when the one thing that you were so confident in, which is fitness, anything physical, I am supremely confident in. I've never approached anything physical that I can't do it. It might be I can't do it right now, but I can do, right? So again, that goes back to when I'm so passionate about it and I can feel it and it's supposed to be tangible, but then it doesn't give me the same feeling anymore. It's like, yo, what's happening? You know what I mean?
So I'm going to bring it to a close with this, because you mentioned something in the beginning where you spoke about the guy sniffing your tracksuit and stuff. And I can stick a pin because I can bring it full circle back to something that you did similar, right? There was a period of time in my life where So there was a period of time in my life where like I was now transitioning fully into fitness, right? And bodybuilding. But what people didn't see is that there was also a side of me that is still dealing very heavy with like smoking weed constantly, right? And I tried to like navigate that and like navigate the space, but like trying to use fitness as the outlet, but at the same time using this weed and the smoking and stuff to like kind of like cure this anxiety and depression I got. And I would just find myself in all these like different weird spaces. A lot of instances I find myself like I remember one time almost getting asked them and another guy, and like it was like just weird stuff, but one thing stood out to me that kind of like told me like this isn't necessarily where you want to be. And I can stick a pin there and fast forward a little bit. People will see me collecting the trophy for winning that time, but people don't see that in between, because if you look back at those pictures, like I ain't really breaking a smile.
Correct.
Because it's like, for me, it's like, one, I can't believe I made it here, but then two, like a couple of years ago, like this would have been like the demise, right?
Yeah.
So I remember like, I really want to get away from this work situation or whatever that I was in currently, and I want to like get onto the stage. Fitness now starting to kick off for me. People now starting to see me. But I still dealing with this thing right now. But I so into smoking. Like this guy was like, I gotta go and stop somewhere first. And we left work, and he segued off to a block that I don't necessarily frequent. And this area I don't really frequent at all. But he get off and he like acknowledging people and stuff. And I say, like, maybe out of respect, I should probably like just get on and go, right? I get off and then I say, like, I say to myself when I smoke, I'm enjoying like these people doing anything. And I'll forget like that night, like these black dudes just pull up and stuff, like, just like, man's like, squaddies and task force, and people start jumping up. And these men jump up with guns as tall as me and stuff. And in my mind, like thinking like when like life changed for me that I get to this point that this is what gonna happen to me right now. Even though I don't know how it gonna unfold, and it's quite possible that nothing gonna happen. There was never a time in my life that I had to be met with men in blue with guns pointing at anybody. There's never a time. I ain't grew up like that, but all of a sudden I hear, right? And I remember like lining up and like gotta get like my address and stuff. And regardless of what their motive for coming there was, I was there, wrong place, wrong time, all these guys, right? So now like looking at that, it's like I really don't want to be doing this all the time. I want to be in spaces where I gotta be like frightened if I gotta like met these turns or wrong turns or whatever. And as you said, like, you gotta be ready for your mind and get to the point and see that this is not necessarily.
You just start to physically feel
like,
uncomfortable.
I need to be here, bro.
Like what you like, and it's not. Sometimes it's not even like these people doing anything particularly bad, but somebody's space is just feel like weird, dog. It's like yo, I'm supposed to be here.
It's like it's time to like make a little shift, right? It's time to make a shift. So now all of a sudden now, like I find myself in these spaces now where it's like people didn't see that struggle, but people could only see the struggle. Like this man start on stage and he ain't eating the meat and he doing these things, he ain't going nowhere, right? And I will never forget after coming second at ABC, I walk onto the beach and I shout my man and I tell my man, look, I got a silver medal. The man kiss it and look at me and tell me, F in first.
You lost. F in first, you lost.
So after that, I was like, all right, I can show this man side out.
Exactly. That way is.
So I think that's like a great determination that I got, but could also be again detrimental. But like I had this grit, and I would never forget I was backstage, and I would start seeing the competition, and then walk out. Say, cause it was our commerce school, and never forget. And I walk out because cricket was playing on the field, and somebody walked past me and was like, "You nervous?" And I look at this man because like nobody don't know this story. Like these things happen way before commerce. I was like. When I was feeling like I didn't need to be in a space, now I feeling like nobody can take me off of this space. And then the man was like, "You nervous?" I was like, "Bruh, I might be nervous when it comes to like doing certain things or whatever. But you see when I come from like not eating meat and showing people that this thing could work or like adjusting my posture and all that sort of stuff to being in contention with anything. I was like, don't even talk.
Don't talk.
Because you really don't know. Like,
you don't.
Right?
You don't.
And Dottie was backstage at the time and he was like doing something with the guy. He was like, yo, Breadfruit, you look good.
I was there, dog. I
remember that. Another man look at me and tell me, you come to get roast or you come to roast? I was like,
you look cruel that night, dog. I remember that. I remember that.
I went and step on our stage and I step off. Somebody messes me and asks me what you think. I was like, what you think? I win. Like it's not even like in a conversation though. I win. And when I step out now and the trophy comes, I say, all right. But I didn't smile for the mere fact that I remember like all these things that kind of like build me to get me here.
Yeah.
And then I can close off of this. Yeah, you said what you said and I kind of show you that I earned my right to be on a track team now, right?
Big fat.
But
Big fat. Big fat.
But at the end of the day, no, it's like, no, I want that fitness, Barbell Conversations, whatever podcast you come up with, for the culture, all these guys are into fitness. I could like just curate an environment and a community for like healthy and positive habits because it's like these young men out here, like from what I can see and from what I experience, I'm going to speak on that. It's like some people just feel lost, dog.
Yeah.
And like because of that, like I want this to be more than just people looking at me and saying like he got a heavy deadlift, or he got a heavy squat.
Yeah, exactly. It goes past that. Yeah.
These things go past that for me because of all these things I experience in life and more that can just like I can just be vulnerable on this space, but you can understand that in itself is also a strength.
Yeah.
Because of that though, when we say all that, handshakes and all that, like what advice you have for like men struggling to like find that balance, like, you know what I mean?
It goes back to the same thing I said earlier, man. Start thinking about the man that you want to be. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't even have to be somebody real, dog.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be like Goku or you want to be like John Wick or whatever, like in that type of capacity,
envision it, believe it,
and then
achieve it,
turn it into something tangible. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you, like the life. I stressing on people that the life that you want already exists. everything that you want already exists. Everything that you want in life is already yours. Just reach out and take it. And you cannot, and people cannot take away what is from you unless you give it to them. And I would be damned if anybody take what you want, big man, because it is mine.
I think that's a good way to end off. Where that's cool. That's cool.
A real thing.
That's cool. Like, you cannot tell what is mine.
Cannot take what is mine.
Like, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like everything that I've been through up until this point, even though it's like a long way to go, like when especially knowing what God coming in the next couple of years, you can't shake me off of this square now, though.
Cannot. My father said this thing, Ray, last name is Wooden. And if you feel that you'll come and burn on it, wood, you still got to deal with the ashes, brother. Believe that. 100%.
Yo.
Still got to deal with the ashes, brother.
Yo.
See what I ash hard out here? When they want me start, boy.
There was a time in my life, right? That, you know, that last name thing, so, like, I don't really take it on a lot. But I remember there was a period of time in my life where people always, like, flip my last name from saying doing best and call it doing worse. It happened a lot, like, just in different little times, right? I like using that name as, like, a standing, but like, the word or the best.
It's the best thing, like, man.
Yo.
You know what? It's like a joke thing. That's the best thing, man.
Can't knock me off of this square.
For sure.
Dog, I appreciate you for coming on this.
It's been great.
It's been great.
I'm looking forward to part 2 or part 3, man. But you gotta come out here. We gotta really, really get into nitty gritty.
I'm telling you.
Well, like, Megan, they need like a little 2 hour day, big man. When I gotta run. Yeah. Ready to.
But yeah. Thanks. It was a pleasure. Breadfruit season. Anybody checking this out? Check out my man Thorn.
Yeah.
Clear.woods for the culture.
Yeah. Follow Isavay, ISSA.VYBE. We come into Barbados. We doing things different.
Yeah.
Y'all get me excited.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure being here for sure.
Appreciate that, bro.
Much love.
All right, thank.
Yeah.
Clean as a rock.
That is a rock.
Yo.